you grew up in the Bulldogs heartland. I'm a big Bulldogs fan.
Yep.
And then how on earth did you end up with the enemy, Parramatta Eels?
So I played that first year with Twin Willows, which is in Canterbury comp, which was in Bass Hill, like 5 minutes from my house. So that was my local team. But then the next year, when we went to under 14s, they started playing Sundays. And my parents were going to church, and they wouldn't be able to take me to the games.
Yep.
So Parramatta comps were still playing Saturdays. So I just found my local Parramatta team, which was at Guildford. So it was an extra, 15 minutes away.
Yep.
But they played Saturdays, so I went to Guildford. And that first year in the Parramatta comp, I got signed as a 14-year-old with Parramatta, and kind of went through. So it could have been the other way. It could have been easily been a Bulldog if the days weren't like. That's literally the only reason I went to the Parramatta comp.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking for me because, like, I'm telling you, from that young age, I was like, this guy's gonna make it, because I'm watching you, you're running into me, you're smashing me, and you're younger than me, and then I see you score 7 tries, and I'm like, just because Bulldogs comp don't play on Saturday, we're gonna lose future Bulldogs front row. You know what I mean? And then you left.
Yeah.
And then you really hurt my feelings. Yeah. I have to tell you about that. I think this is like
you're getting all out of it. It's every session.
You really hurt my feelings because you make your debut in the Eels, and then 2009, I think you guys having a run to the grand final, and along the way you beat the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the game before the grand final.
The game before the grand final. Yeah. Can you tell me about? Well, tell me about that. Like that. Well, that experience was.
That was a highlight for me because that was still my favorite game. Like more than Origin, that was my favorite game of my career. And it wasn't because it was the Bulldogs, but to get into the grand final, I got to score my first try in that game.
Yeah.
And it was the only game it was a record crowd, and I remember it was the only time they ever asked you who you went for when you bought your tickets. So as you come out of the tunnel, it was literally split in half. You could just see blue and white and then blue and gold. Like the whole game was back and forth. So it was
a big crowd, wasn't it?
Yeah. 70-something.
70,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you went out, and I remember. So I was I had moved into a new unit at the time. You're making, like, my life's in disarray at that time. All right, like in the sense I'm moving house. I remember I was struggling to get the TV connected. I'm seriously in debt. I'm newly married as a kid. I don't know what I'm doing with myself. And then I turn on the TV to watch, like, the only thing that made me happy during the week was that Bulldogs are on a run in 2009 and they're doing really well. And then I see my childhood friend, someone I grew up with, scoring a try to eliminate our team we grew up going for, eliminate them from the final series, and then he goes on, like, they go on to win and Bulldogs lose. And I just remember feeling like that was your high point of your life. Was the bottom point of your life.
Apparently, our Auntie Vera was watching it somewhere with all the people at her house, and when I scored, she turned the TV off and walked out.
Yeah, I had the same reaction. So I'm moving. So my house is boxes. I've got boxes everywhere. All I've got in the lounge room, I'm living in Pyrmont at the time, I've got one lounge and I've got a TV. And I'm fighting with my wife and telling everyone off because they're trying to move their house, and I've stopped everything so I could just plug in the TV, get reception, and watch this game. And he literally crosses, and I have this feeling of, like, 1% of, like, happiness and being proud that my mate made first grade is winning a finals game, scoring a try, and then 99% I want to break my TV, turn it off. I turn off the TV, and that rage, came inside. Then, and I thought it took me a few years to get over it, so I didn't speak to him for about another year, and then we got the show back on the road.
It was a few lean years for Parramatta as well after that. So,
bro, when you coming home, but to the Dogs, that's why I
still get that. Oh no, now
you get that
my whole career I was like, when are you going back to the Dogs? I was never there.
Well, you still got that record, but
I was got that record.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
You still got that record.